On the next PFR, popular specialty livestock, including the hardworking Canadian horse.
They were exported a lot too. They were noted for their strength, their endurance, their easy keepers.
Quail is like a miniature chicken, basically, and you don't need as much room, you don't need as much feed, or it's a lot more economical and easier to raise.
That's specialty livestock on the next Prairie Farm Report. On the next PFR, specialty livestock. See the hardy, versatile Canadian horse and a family farm that raises quail and sells their eggs. And more is ahead on the next PFR, brought to you in part by FarmVideos.com, a useful source of specialty livestock DVDs. In this edition of the Prairie Farm Report, a variety of useful and productive specialty livestock, including the versatile Canadian horse.
They were exported a lot too. They were noted for their strength, their endurance, their easy keepers, and they were a pretty popular horse for a lot of things. They were sent to the Boer War. They were used very extensively in the American Civil War.
Quail is like a miniature chicken, basically, and you don't need as much room, you don't need as much feed, or it's a lot more economical and easier to raise.
Got on the phone and just asked a few restaurants if they'd be interested, and they were actually really interested. It surprised us.
Privately, we sell them for $100 a pair for the rare breeds off the farm. When you take them to the sales, it can vary.
The Prairie Farm Report is brought to you by Canada's Rural Channel from AgCom Productions, the first and only Canadian-based 24-hour rural interest TV channel. If you like the PFR, you'll love the Rural Channel from AgCom. Take time to learn more about this exciting television viewing opportunity. Welcome to our PFR on specialty livestock. When Bill Humeny first moved to this acreage near Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in 1995, he was looking for a way to take advantage of being out in the wide open country. After some diligent research, he decided to raise registered purebred Canadian horses.
And was looking for a horse to breed, and I stumbled across an article about these horses. And the whole idea intrigued me. They're Canadian breed, strictly Canadian, and had a lot of good characteristics. And at the time, they were, and they are, and still are, an endangered species.
Humeny has 10 of his own Canadian horses and also looks after several more for friends. He says they're enjoyable horses due to a variety of appealing characteristics.
One of the things that we like about them a lot is that they're a really good-natured horse. They're very people-friendly. That makes them kind of easy to work with. On top of that, they're easy, what you call an easy keeper. I don't think you're going to see a skinny horse around here. They don't require a lot of rich feed or a lot of special feeding or anything like that to stay healthy. They're noted as having really good endurance. They're a very hardy horse. Real good bone structure. Generally, if you get them right, they've got a nice broad chest with good lung and so on. And all around a nice horse to work with.
Right now, Humeny is getting ready to go for a drive with this 16-year-old Canadian named Fargo. Just to be on the safe side, he likes to approach this process cautiously.
I leave the halter on. Most people would not. I do that because he's a stallion. I'm here alone, and if something gets him excited, he's going to want to go have a look at it.
The history of the Canadian breed goes back to the 1600s, long before Canada even became a country. It all started when a French monarch shipped a group of mixed breed horses to what is now Canada.
Well, originally they were sent from King Louis XIV's stables to Quebec for use in the new settlements there. The first shipment was, I think, 12 or 14 horses, a couple of mares, and a couple of stallions, and the rest were mares. And then a few years later, there was some more sent over, and the whole breed pretty much descended from that into a pretty true, genetically true line.
Humany told us those horses involved in the foundation of the Canadian included several fairly prominent breeds.
There was Arab, Barb, Andalusian horses, and according to what I have researched, some of the heavier sort of war horse types as well. So it was a blend of those breeds. And you can see some of the characteristics of all those breeds in them, if you look at enough of them.
About 75% of all Canadian horses are black, but they also produce colors such as beige and chestnut. They usually stand 14 to 16 hands high and weigh between 900 and 1,500 pounds. They aren't known as speed horses, but Humany has enjoyed success entering them in combined driving events, which usually includes a distance competition of up to 12 miles.
Where you go cross country on a timed event where you have to come in within a certain time window. While you're out there, one part of it you will have to go through hazards. Could be water hazards, through trees. You have to go through particular openings in the right order at the right time. You get penalized for the amount of time that you're in doing that when you're off track. And then you do what they call a cones course, which is where you have limited clearance between sets of cones set out in the pattern that you have to do in the right order in the right direction.
Humany says he has never bothered to bring his Canadians indoors, even when he's had mares in foal. This is hardly surprising since the breed has been adapting to the harsh Canadian climate for over 300 years. Research suggests that their numbers peaked at around 160,000 in the 1800s.
They were exported a lot too. They were noted for their strength, their endurance, their easy keepers. And they were a pretty popular horse for a lot of things. They were sent to the Boer War. They were used very extensively in the American Civil War, and exported to the West Indies for use on the sugar plantations. They were pretty broad use, but their numbers deteriorated very seriously, particularly after the mechanization of the farms.
Eventually, the numbers dropped to 200 or so at their lowest point, which was around the time when efforts began to reestablish the breed. In addition to being well-known driving horses, Canadians are also quite popular as saddle horses. A number of ranchers like them for cattle work. It's not surprising that the breed has received special recognition in its home country.
They are a part of our national heritage, and in 2002 there was an act in Parliament in Ottawa where they were named to be Canada's national horse. So that's kind of an interesting thing.
The Canadian has long been popular in crossbreeding programs, consistently passing along traits such as structure and temperament. Humany is looking forward to retirement, which means he'd be willing to sell if he can find good homes for his Canadian horses. Coming up on the Prairie Farm Report, a family farm where ducks are raised for both eggs and for breeding stock.
Privately, we sell them for $100 a pair for the rare breeds off the farm. When you take them to the sales, it can vary.
We'll also visit a quail operation which sells thousands of eggs per week to large chain stores. That's all still ahead on the PFR, brought to you in part by farmvideos.com, a great source of agricultural DVDs. If you love new inventions, the PFR Video Library's Invention 16 DVD will give you a lift. This 1-hour video features a dozen inventions, including an air seeder with angled disc openers. See a high-capacity liquid nitrogen cart and an easy-to-use screen for checking combine grain loss. This title also features a self-cleaning irrigation canal screen and a rugged round baler that bales trees. See these inventions and more by calling today for PFR's Inventions Volume 16 or shop at farmvideos.com. Knowledge is the key to success in farming. The PFR's Crop Profiles Pack makes you knowledgeable about more than 20 crops in a 3-hour package. Crops featured that can be grown with conventional equipment include cranberry, buckwheat, triticale, dwarf feed corn, hull-less barley, camelina, pinto beans, hemp, and kamut. Some non-conventional farm equipment crops profiled are garlic, echinacea, spearmint, and black currants. To get the PFR's Crop Profiles Pack, call today or go to farmvideos.com. Ian and Colleen Hodges enjoy their life on their acreage near Dalmeny, Saskatchewan. Even though Ian has a full-time job, which involves a fair bit of travel, he's been able to continue his long-time interest in raising birds, especially ducks. They have a land base of 10 acres and have been living here for about 10 years.
Previously to that, we were in the Okanagan Valley in BC. I've been raising birds probably for about 30, almost 35 years. Always waterfowl. Always enjoyed working with them. They're easy to keep.
One of the prominent breeds in the Hodges operation is the Khaki Campbell, a prolific British breed. Of course, khaki refers to their main color.
They're an egg-laying breed. One of the best, actually. They've produced world records in the past. Again, they lay a smaller egg, but they're very, very efficient. They're fairly reasonable to feed, and great layers.
The Khaki Campbell is one of the ancestors of this breed, known as the Welsh Harlequin. These are prolific layers as well, but they're also known for their bright color. At the time of our mid-April visit, Hodges was regularly visiting these and all of the rest of his ducks.
They've been inside for most of the winter because of the weather, so I just like to do a visual check to make sure there's no issues, no problems.
This breed is the Muscovy, which is very different from many other duck breeds. Hodges has some that are mostly white and others that are mainly black.
These are actually a South American tree duck. They're not related to the mallard at all, where the other breeds that we looked at a little while ago are all related to the mallard. So their incubation period's a little long, about 35 days. They lay a little harder shelled egg. The males have extremely sharp claws, so you got to be careful. And they don't have oil on their feathers like the other breeds. So believe it or not, these birds can actually drown if they get waterlogged and can't get out of a pool or an area.
Probably the most unusual body type among the duck breeds at the Hodges operation is this tall, thin Indian runner. Since they are significantly smaller than most of the other breeds, Hodges gives them some special attention.
We separate them from the rest of the flock just because some of the bigger birds will, over the course of the winter, pick on them a little more, and they don't have a lot of meat. They're only about 3.5 pounds in weight, so when we do that, when we keep them together as a flock, they're fine. We've had no issues.
Hodges has another rare British breed known as the Ancona duck. He used to keep more popular domestic breeds, but these days Hodges is focused on helping to preserve